Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
Back.
Every time.
So,
Every
this
time.
is why I can't look at it while I'm waiting.
Why don't you just not look at him?
I yeah, but when I do it, I have to look forward, and then he's sitting over there going.
What games is everybody playing this week?
Just move him up to the side.
I'll put my hand over him.
Oh my god. Talk about games. Stop talking about each other. Jeez.
I'll go last because one of the news stories is about the one I'm playing. So.
Okay. Well then.
Apex, Overwatch, and finishing those goddamn dwarves.
Painting them, he means.
Yeah.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
The doors I keep painting on, and then getting sidetracked and procrastinating about doing them, and yeah.
Bacchus procrastinating, I never
done.
would have guessed.
I know, it's a little overwhelming, but you know.
Overwhelming. Yes. Chicken's making me play through the original Red Dead Redemption because we've had it for
Did you really
Gamefly.
just try to throw me under
No,
the
I'm
bus?
explaining it. We've had it from Gamefly, and I too am procrastinating way too much. And so finally, he's like, "You either play it or send it back." I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry," because I've been putting it off, and I really think that I would have continued to put it off if he not laid down the law. So thanks, Chicken.
Sometimes she needs a little law in her life.
Every now and then, I need a little push.
Also, it's very hard for her to throw you under a bus. She's usually driving. I mean, just saying.
Well, then she swerves out of the way and hits me with the bus. Oh, I was just chicken again. This is why the chickens don't cross the road.
That's terrible. It's been. I feel like the story drags on that one a little bit more than it does in Red Dead 2. But I think that part of it is because in Red Dead 2, there's more of a sense of permanency because you're with the same people throughout. Whereas with Red Dead 1, it's like, okay, in this section you deal with these two main people and do stuff for them. Okay, you're done with that. They're no longer here. You go to the next section and deal with these two main people. You're done with that. Now move on. Like, it's very sectioned off, and the only permanent character is your character. But that's the way a lot of games are designed, so it's not like it's weird or bad or anything. I just think that it makes it feel more disconnected for me. But if the intent of some of the writing had been for the player to be just as frustrated as the main character, as John Marsden is in some of these things, mission accomplished. Because at some points, like at one point in this game was 2010, so you're almost 10 years down the line if you haven't played Red Dead, the first one. And this isn't a huge spoiler, but at one point you end up in Mexico because you're looking for two members of your gang, and they're in the middle of a revolution, so you've got the current government and then the rebel forces, and both of them are like, we know where these people you're looking for are, but first we need you to do this for us. And then you go and do that and come back to them, and they're like, okay, we definitely are looking for the people. So it's like, first of all, you said you knew where they were at, but you didn't even, okay. And then they're like, we're looking for them, and we'll put more effort into that if you do this other I'm like, I'm not fighting your revolution on both fronts for you. Seriously, are none of you even... Do any of you know how to use guns proficiently? I'm the only one doing any work here, and I'm not even from here.
You're just an errand boy.
I was so frustrated because that whole section really felt like the NPCs were just yanking your chain the whole time, and I got so tired of it. Which is part of the reason that I had stopped playing, and Chicken had to make me go back and finish it, because I was just like... I'm just tired of doing this back and forth dance. I'm really tired of it.
I'm wondering if, because there's a very small faction of people out there that enjoyed Red Dead Redemption 1 better than they did Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right.
But I know. But I'm wondering if the reason you don't like the game, the disconnection part of it, is why they do like the game. Like,
maybe.
I'm because I agree with the fact that you're with that same group the entire time on the second one. And where you've got the first one where you've got that separation that's there, and I'm just wondering if it's like they enjoyed being out on their own and not having to worry about these other people type deal, I guess, maybe.
I could kind of see that, because sometimes it is frustrating to walk back into the camp and for them to hassle you immediately in Red Dead 2. Like, you haven't been contributing. And you're like, let me go look at the ledger. It says that I've already given you $300 in a row worth of stuff, not to mention all the food I'm bringing in, and nobody else is doing anything. Stop hassling me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I kind of understand that, but at the same same turn, like the gameplay of it and the fact that you are so disconnected, like you're just given this ambiguous mission. Well, it's not ambiguous. Just go find your former gang members, and you're like, all right. And that's your driving force. Go do this, or else something bad might happen to your wife and child. Which even the government people, because I'm to a point where I'm back working with them directly, are doing the same yanking your chain bullshit. Which is like, John's like, I want to see my wife and kids, and the guys are like, meh, 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 we are the government. We can do whatever we want. You work for us until we say. And I'm like,
yeah, you see. Good job, sneaky peek thing.
That's the thing though, is they're doing those old school like early gangsta years, because that's the transition they're at, where they're transitioning from Wild West cowboys into, you know, the American gangster, and a lot of that was like the mob was part of the government and things like that. So that's what they're doing. So it is that kind of cheesy. Mirror, see, you do what we say, see. I'm like,
God damn.
Too funny.
I think I'm almost done though with the first one. I played for like 6 hours.
Are you enjoying it? Other than that aspect of it, I mean, like the storyline itself, are you
The
enjoying that
storyline
part of it?
itself is good. Like, I enjoy it, and I understand John's motivations very clearly, especially having played. Like, I think it would have been not necessarily impossible to connect as much, but I think you get more connection after playing Red Dead 2 to John's storyline in the first Red Dead, which I think is weird. I mean, the way that the prequel happened and everything, because it gives you more motivation for John once you're playing the first game again. If you've already played it. If not, I've already told you stuff about it. Sorry. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but I wish that it was a little more cohesive and it would move things along a little better, because it feels like a lot of the game is just stalling for game time.
Are you connecting better to the
intentional
game?
filler.
Are you connecting better to the game now that you're playing it by yourself versus when you all were co-op in the game?
Yeah, I think that definitely makes a difference with something like that, because it is easier to sit down and get in their mindset when you don't have to worry about. I mean, part of it too is just how the nature of Let's Plays, because you're having to do commentary and it needs to be entertaining commentary, so that you can't really fully dedicate yourself to paying attention to what's going on in game. You're dedicating yourself to, you know, talking and everything as well. So I think that that's made a difference, whether it was going to be a co-op or not Let's Play. I think that changes it a lot too.
I got you.
But I think I'm almost done. And I only get to have one horse at a time, and I mean, I kind of sort of knew that, but I didn't realize it until the horse that I'd had for, like, most of the game disappeared because I got another horse. And I was like, oh, he's gone. No.
You killed him by getting a new one.
I didn't kill him. He just disappeared. Like, I exiled him to the outer plane or something.
At least it didn't do the little deflate glitch or something like that. I've been sad about that.
He did disappear to the glue factory.
No, he didn't. Shut up.
Disappeared. He shut the hunt down the people that took her horse. Headed to the glue factory.
But then it turns out it was me all along.
Burn every glue factory for miles.
God, I hate you people. Why do you have to ruin everything for me?
What about you, Chick?
Part of the job.
What'd you play this week?
I played a little more Anthem. Filled my time with a lot of ARMs in League, and I've also gotten slightly addicted to Tetris 99.
Yeah, you have.
Have you won yet?
No, I've gotten pretty fucking close, but I'm like getting better at it, because I know down will make your piece come down, and if you tap up, it'll drop it immediately. So I can kind of I'm getting much faster at it, and I can definitely see myself, because I'm placing in the top 20s regularly now. But there are a couple of times where I just get fucked. Like, I mean, you get attacked by like 6 different people, and your stack just goes you're out. It's like, but I barely even had a chance to do anything. But yeah, you can choose who you want to attack too. Like, you'll just change it to someone who's attacking you, and you'll attack back. It's
Does it use the touchscreen on that if you're doing that, or does it?
Actually, I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. I use the joystick. You could use the joystick to change whoever you're attacking.
Because I'm thinking it might be quicker to go, I want that guy, and then do it. You know what I mean?
Versus, I'm gonna have to test that out real quick, like, you know.
Not right now. You can test it out after the show.
But yeah,
let us know on that one. Let us know on that one, because I'm really interested to know if the touchscreen works on it, because it does. That might be why you're getting fucked too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. It's nice when I'm just sitting here watching a stream. It's like, oh, well, I'll just throw down and around a Tetris 99, and then I'm sitting there for like
7.
an hour just playing the whole time. I was like, really like this. But yeah, I haven't played much this week. Just those. And Anthem.
Well, I finished Last Light, Metro Last Light. I finished 2033, then Metro Last Light to lead into Metro Exodus. I started Exodus yesterday. Absolutely graphically gorgeous games. Please, oh please, 4A Games, put this motherfucker on a PC format that we all want to buy from.
Steam.
Please.
Yes, because to clarify,
Please.
you were playing it on Xbox because
Or
you weren't
put it
gonna
on
buy it
all
Epic.
of them. I'm just
Yes.
saying.
I mean, I'd be
Yeah,
fine
I'm
with
playing it
that.
on
It's
Xbox,
everything.
and it's just
Yeah.
gorgeous. And I'm like, the water is, I'm not kidding you. The first time I ever saw is it The Hunt, the game that you like, that it's
The Hunt Showdown?
Yeah, The Hunt Showdown. That water, the way that water looks, imagine a river. Or, yeah. Like, it's gorgeous. And I'm like, holy crap, this is a beautiful, beautiful game. And I'm sad I'm not playing it on my PC right now. I'm just sad. But it is. I mean, it's very interesting. I was going to look up, because those that aren't familiar with the series, with 2033 and Last Light both, they actually have alternate endings. You have the good and the bad endings. The bad ending is what most people end up getting when they play for those games. But I was interested to find out whether or not, because I'm like, okay, based on how Last Light ends, how is, which version of that is this going to end up being?
Which one is canon? Yeah,
which one is canon for the game series? Which is funny because if you look that up, people go, the book is canon.
Like,
that's the answer you get. I'm like, stop. I need to know which one's canon for the game I'm about to play. I understand where it came from and what it was inspired by, but come on, guys. But it's they added some stuff to their gameplay. What I really like about the Metro series is they don't change their gameplay much. They add a little things to it, but they've modernized this one to a point to where it really feels good. At one point you're in a boat and you get to like paddle a boat, which was really cool too, but it wasn't like Sea of Thieves where you have to use your right left to do this the whole time, which was great. It was because it was a double paddle. You just hold the right trigger and he goes one way, you hold the left trigger and he goes the other way, and I'm like, brilliant, that's the way it should be. I played through it and enjoyed like the plot line and everything, where it's building and where it's going to. I'm not 100% sure, but the surface itself is just gorgeous. The scenery and everything, and they put a picture mode in there. They were like, we're building a fucking beautiful game. Picture mode.
Everybody puts in picture modes these days.
Yes.
Pretty awesome. Also played Sea of Thieves, and of course, I've got to play at least once a week. And with Sea of Thieves, of course, they have the new Reaper Challenge stuff that they've got on there, and pretty much everybody's doing the same thing with these. I'm telling you now, if anybody wants to build their character, just go play Sea of Thieves right now, because especially if your gold hoarders isn't where it needs to be, which honestly, if you've been playing this game, why is gold hoarders not the highest one you've got anyway, because of how much it's given. But literally, people are showing up to islands that are on the list, popping in, and hitting the spot one time to ping the chest, going to all the chests that are on that island, getting back on their boat and going. They're not even pulling them off. So the amount we're pulling up chests that aren't even ours sometimes. And I'm like, okay. Wow. And so we end up with like tons of chests, 50, 60 chests or whatever. This past weekend they ran the Gold for Glory, and in one night we had five ships in an alliance and ended up with 300,000 gold by the end of it is what we ended up with. There was one group, which I'll make sure that I post the picture in the Discord for the Infinite Respawn Discord, that got 3.9 million worth of gold. And they took every single, because the entire server band together, they took every single chest and put it on one island. And it is an aerial shot. Like somebody had to shoot themselves out of a cannon to take the shot. It is amazing to see how much loot that is. But I would not have wanted to have turned it in. First of all, I would not have wanted to be the person that dropped all that shit off.
Yeah, like,
God.
And then had to pick it back up, take it onto a ship, and then go, because the island that they're on, it looks like Marauder's Island.
Ooh.
So they're just dropping all of it off, because on that particular Reaper one, everybody had to finish at Marauders. So everybody would just load it up right there. But it was ridiculous, the amount of loot that they ended up taking in. So now's the best time to do it. And for anybody that's like, but I really enjoy the PvP part of it, guess what, folks? It's coming. It's coming. 4/30 announced this week. Rare announced for their 1-year anniversary, which, by the way, everybody that's played the game, log in and grab your free stuff. It's awesome, the stuff that's in there. But the anniversary update is coming, and the arena is coming along with that. They're adding stuff into the game right now that kind of show you what's going to happen. The most popular thing right now everybody's excited about, of course, is fishing.
Finally.
Fishing. We're going to have fishing and cooking.
Finally.
And by the way, the cooking pans are all over the place. So all these fires that we've seen for a long time, they've installed a stick and a pan over the top of them. So they're all over the place. Where Merrick was, there's actually a portrait of Merrick and Derek, which is his son. So, which is weird. It's just kind of leaning there, and you click on it, and he does a little thing that says, "This was my son, Derek. I guess I like him," or something. I don't remember what it was. It's some weird thing that they put
I
on
guess
there.
I like him.
I like
whatever.
him. Also, what I thought was really interesting, the big giant rock formations that always kind of got in the way in the wilds and places like that, they're building something on one of them. It's one of the ones that's kind of the arc-shaped one that has the kind of the point at the top of it. But
Is that the
it
center
looks
of the
like they're
map?
building an outpost there. But there's a lady there. So I went to go talk to her. And when I talked to her,
She killed you.
she won't tell you anything other than she's like, "I'm a daughter of a famous pirate." That's what she tells you, but I can't tell you any more than that. So then you try to ask her more questions, right? You got these things that on there, and she'll go, you'd be like, "That's a really cool outfit." And it's like, of course it's a really cool outfit. Otherwise my name wouldn't be. And she goes, "Dang it, I almost said it." And it's just like, I'm very interested to see. Like, there's theories that we have. This might be part of this new telling of lore that they've got coming up called Tall Tales, which the first one is called Golden Shores, I believe. That's coming out on April 30th. But I think Tall Tales is going to be... What I like about this is they're not saying this is Season 2 of Sea of Thieves, which is what I love. Stop calling shit seasons.
Especially
I think
when
of
your
seasons
seasons are 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Or 3 months.
Yeah, I expect when you say a season, I think of like actual competitive gameplay, like League of Legends or something like that. That's when I think of seasons. I don't think of it in a game like this. So, but I'm very interested to see what they're dropping on there. And then it looks like we're going to be able to start using the stars for clues. And there's going to be adding of traps. So another PvP or PvE environment added into it.
Give me mimics. God damn it. I swear.
Chests
I need
that eat
mimics.
people, that's going to be
Yeah,
great.
like you go to dig one up, and then you pull it up, and then it just looks like a normal chest. You do it a couple more times, and the skeleton pops up out of the fucking ground.
No,
and just,
not the ones you dig up. It would be ones like laying around randomly. They
It's
would
like,
have
like
they
when
have
you get
this.
washed up.
one of them all of a sudden just like grows arms and grabs you and starts chewing on you. And you
I want one
This
that'll
chest
like
is eating
jump
me.
up out of the. I wanted to jump up out of the thing with a gunpowder barrel. I'm like, boom, son of a bitch.
So not only is it a mimic, it's a suicidal mimic?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You're
they've
like,
already got
I-
the suicidal skellies. Why would you not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
not do
it's
that?
like I see a chest over there, but I really don't want to do it. Hey, you want to go check that real quick for
Jester mimics.
me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to go?
It's-
It's,
they would
like
have to
rock,
make
paper,
it
scissors
so-
to see who has to go dig it up or go get it.
That'd be awesome, though. I think it'd be
Well,
fun
one
as hell
person
to do it.
stays in the back with a gun to shoot it just in case.
Cover
Oh,
me,
yeah, while
I'm
the
going
person
to
is
get a
up there.
chest.
Oh, I saw a bomb. Boom. Why didn't you let me move first, you dick?
I didn't want it to kill me.
I didn't want it
There
to
you
come
go.
close enough to the ship.
One of the things that if you're watching the trailer, there's a shot where you actually see them looking at the stars in order to be able to maybe move, where you need to go to give you your clue. Right next to the lady is a little crab that's doing the exact same thing on the ship. Pets, folks. They're coming. They're coming.
Pet
We're getting
crab.
pets.
Yes.
Okay, I saw the Joe Neat tweet out about it, and he has said that what they have tested internally, they do not like. So don't look forward to it soon. They have to go back to the drawing board.
They were
And
promising us pets since launch.
Get them right. They want them to be right and to be worth it. So I mean, even still to this day, the game is almost a year old, and there's still no microtransactions in sight. It's like, let me support you.
Let me throw
I can't
$5
buy
at you
more.
so I can have a crab. Okay.
They are. There
I
are
can't
people that
buy
literally
more
have
money.
Game Pass just to play this game. So now think about this for a minute. They could have paid $60 day one, but instead they're paying for Game Pass. And what if they're not playing any other games? They've spent way more than they would have otherwise. But I mean, this really.
I mean,
sold
unless
Game
they
Pass,
are
though.
using Game Pass for a bunch of other stuff too, and then in which case that's justified. Sure, why not?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I will say one of the fucking craziest things, the most intense things that I saw in that trailer was now you can destroy specific parts of enemy ships. Taking down their masts, their wheels, their capstans. Holy shit.
Well,
Like,
the
that's
thing
gonna
is
create a whole different
with those
way of fighting.
comes repair, right? And I'm leery of it for a sloop standpoint. Like the other two, you've got multiple people to help you, but if you're by yourself and a galleon randomly comes by and starts hitting you, the first thing all they would have to do is just make sure they're destroying the parts of your ship, because you're down repairing the bottom part of your ship, and you can hang pretty well. But recently, they changed how fast a sloop sinks. They've made it more difficult for people that are by themselves to run a sloop solo, and that's where I kind of get leery of it, just because it's because you do have those assholes of the world that are out there. It's just like with this recent Respawn one, we had friends that had a server last night, and there were people literally camping because you have the same islands you have to go to while you're running a Reaper flag. They were camping on those particular islands, just waiting for the people to come. And what they would do is they'd wait for them to hit their actually hit their chests, and then they would kill them, dig up their chest, and then go hide their chest somewhere, and then they would just, it was continual. But there was like an entire alliance worth of people that are continuing to do that, and I'm like, this is really?
It's a pirate game. They're gonna kill you and take your booty.
I know, right? But it is, and you're running a Reaper flag, so they know when you're coming.
Yep.
So it's just, I'm very interested to see, though, how many of those people end up going into the arena. Because I think you're going to have a good amount of them that really love that style of gameplay, and will enjoy playing against each other and battling it out. But I think at the same time you're going to have people that can't hang because they're used to just being trolls on freaking islands and shit.
Yes, that will be what separates the true competitive people to the trolls. Because the true competitive people are going to want to fight other people who are good and, try to win. And then the trolls who are going to go in there, get their ass beat, realize they can't handle, real competitiveness, and then have to go back and pick up on the baddies that are still only playing out in the world.
Yep. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I like what they're adding to the game.
Harpoons, too, by the way. That's fucking
cool.
They've
got the harpoons, which is part of the hunters guild with the fishing and the cooking and all that stuff is being added in with it. And then you'll have the hunter one, and then you'll have Sea Dog, which is the competitive arena. So you've got those two extra guilds, basically, if you will, that have been added into it. And I think that's where the game's just going to continue to evolve. It gives you those people that haven't reached Pirate Legend yet, it would give them reason to do that. I'll also be interested to see, because right now the highest you can go on Legend is Athena 10. So I'm very interested to see if they push past that and then open it up to 20 or whatever, and that ends up being your hard cap, right?
Right.
At the top. So it'd be very interesting to see. So I like what they're doing with the game. They did add the mercenary stuff. So if you're a person that does not have an iron sight on your pistol, and you want an iron sight on your pistol, go buy the Mercenary. It's there. You don't have to buy anything anymore for it. Just go buy the Mercenary when it's there. And to me, it's worth it. I use the Kraken one along with my Ebony one just because they both have kind of an iron sight to them. But that Mercenary one was one that was on the release, and it had it on there too. So, and it's in the game. I don't really like the sword though that they've added. The one with that you get for free that has like a skull on the top of it. It's
It
kind
looks
of me.
gaudy. That's just me though. It's just me. It's a little much.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's kind of me for me. The blunderbuss, the hurdy-gurdy, the cannon looks awful. It's 320 gold, and it's not even worth the 320 gold you're paying for it. It looks awful. I was like, this is what you give me for this? Okay, fine. The hat is 320 gold. And
It's
then
got a lot
if
of
you're
stuff.
Legend, you get other stuff on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You get it. Legends get certain things that other people don't get. So,
Right.
if you made Legend before the 320 mark. We tried to get a friend there, but he fell short. He ended up at 40 something. So that's all right though. He enjoyed it. All right. What else we got?
I mean,
news-wise?
you talking
Yeah,
Sea
lots
of
of
Thieves?
stuff.
That's Microsoft product. Microsoft is gonna go the Nintendo Direct way and do a streamed video style announcement stuff for all of the indie stuff that's coming to Game Pass.
It's
and things
called
like that.
Nindy Direct.
Yeah, because it's for indie games, which is nice, but at the same time, I feel like that's a little too close to Nintendo Direct. But
Oh, those two are so much
I
buddy
know.
these days. Nintendo is like, you could name it Nindy Direct. You could like play off of ours.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo came up with the name for them.
well,
Nintendo and Microsoft are like friends now. They're definitely working to better for everybody.
let's see.
Definitely.
That'll be on Tuesday when that happens. So you can look forward to that, especially if you're into indie games, since that is what they will be talking about. And PlayStation's decided to do the same thing. Like, they both announced it this week, but PlayStation's doing State of Play, which is basically going to be, I guess, a State of the Union for PlayStation specifically. Which, I mean, it makes sense. They're not doing E3 this year. They don't, I mean, it seems like Sony's not trying to push themselves as hard this year, but I think it's also because, and this is just me speculating, they're on the cusp of next-gen stuff, so they're saving a lot of their stuff, trying to hold it for launch stuff for next-gen, essentially. I don't know. But March 25th is when that's happening. So Monday for that, for PlayStation, Tuesday for the Microsoft indie stuff.
And then Wednesday, Nintendo gets to sit all high and mighty and go, ha ha ha, look at these guys.
Our children, look at them. It's what it feels like anyway. So that's, if you want to keep up with either one of the major sides of the console wars, there's a good place to start this week.
And that's it. I think it's a good thing though. I think that, but it's amazing to me that we've had Nintendo Directs for like 4 years.
And everybody else is just now catching up. Well, I think everybody else really tried to hold on to a lot of their stuff because PlayStation was doing up until last year their own PlayStation event in December, and then they do E3 and all of the conferences over the summer as well. And this year they're skipping out on the E3. They didn't do a PlayStation, the PSX last year. I don't know if they'll do one this year or not. They haven't really said anything about it. So I don't know if they're trying to give small stuff at this, skip E3, and then save everything else for December when they can do PSX, or what the plan is there. Maybe they're just saving production money, because they spent a lot of money last year on E3, and it was kind of a failure. But we talked about that last week, so
Yeah.
maybe it's just a cost-cutting measure.
Maybe.
Bethesda is doing E3. I guess this is amid the announcements of people that aren't doing it. Bethesda's like, hey guys, we're still going to be there. But at the same time, everybody's
I think
kinda
they
like,
have to be.
I think they have to be, and I think they have to knock it out of the park. But it seems like, and one of my concerns with this year, the theme of their E3 presentation is going to be together, and they have already started asking for a lot of stuff from the community. So I think they're going to show off more of what they've already done. And hey guys, look at all these people having fun with our previous games, instead of announcing a lot of new stuff. I think that's
Maybe.
what we're looking at here. Because, I mean, what else do they have? They've got Elder Scrolls 6, which is so far out, it's ridiculous. They've got their Starfield, which they teased, so maybe they'll say
That
something.
one's so far out.
But yeah,
that one's for
I don't
next
think-
generation too.
Yeah, I don't think we'll hear anything about that just yet. Because Bethesda's usually pretty good about holding on to announcements until they're
We'll have
ready
to have a 3080 graphics card for that
No
one.
shit.
I say
And then-
until
and
they're
then-
ready, and then I realized the Fallout 76 just came out broken as whatever.
I bet money we'll see a huge expansion for 76.
But to be fair, this is the first game we've really had them do that to us.
Well, a lot. Okay,
there's also a lot more around it
100%
too than just
fair,
the game.
and I love, Fallout 4 is amazing. I was playing it earlier today, and I love a lot of the Bethesda properties, but a lot of their games have a lot of issues. It's just that before there were so many things that worked right that the things that didn't work sometimes added charm to it. Like, oh, it's cute. Look at this thing that doesn't work. Look at all these things that do work. But with 76, it was like, look at that one thing that works. Look at all that broken stuff over there, though. So there's a little bit of a different
finding a diamond ring in a
dynamic.
junk pile is what that is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. So, but I think this is going to be kind of a gimmicky thing to justify them having one, but also to use it as a showcase for products they already have. I imagine we'll see a lot of content from Fallout 76, assuming they can find people
Yes.
that had things that worked well enough to give them content for. But, and I think you're right. I think there probably will be an announcement for an expansion to 76, maybe. Or at least content stuff. New stuff you can buy from their great store.
No, I wouldn't go that far. They know that they need to, one, fix the game, optimize the game, and two, add stuff into
I
it.
think the game gets a Steam release shortly after that. I really do.
Ooh, that would definitely be a way to. Because
You're saying be together, and you've had exclusivity on your own product.
Yeah.
I'd be very interested to see on that one. But I think it ends up getting a Steam client release of
That
some
would
sort.
be very nice.
Or they're going to release an Elder Scrolls game just like 76.
How old is 76? Came out in November, right?
Yeah.
I can
think
get it for
so.
$8 right now.
From Gamefly.
Yeah, from GameFly, I can get it for $8. Which I've seriously thought about. I mean, $8. I've already put more than 8 hours in it, so.
There's supposed to be a big expansion for 76, according to the article. So,
Cool.
which
to see that.
and to be fair, if they're able to repair it and get it taken care of, and those people that didn't buy in to start with, I think you give it about 6 months after that release, it's on there, and everybody's talking differently about 76. But the problem is, those that were the early adopters to it will probably never go back to the game. They just won't.
Well, to be fair, the people who didn't want to play Sea of Thieves at the beginning got out of it because it was boring and it was empty, but then come back to it eventually because they did stuff with it.
Oh, yeah, so we got...
Some of them did.
We've got a few friends that have done that. Like, they haven't played since. I think some of them quit right after the Meg. So right after that first expansion, right? And they haven't played since then. Well, they're playing now, and they're reading online, like, information on how to take down skelly ships and stuff like that. We're like, dude, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Like, it's like the hardest to us still is the ones that you have to go through the cycles of the ones that pop up out of the water underneath the cloud, to where you have to kill the first one, and then you have the two that come up, and then the Meg comes along with them and all that stuff. And that one's kind of like that's where it becomes difficult. And they've changed that now, I think, to where none of the stuff pops up until after it's complete. Versus before you had the stuff that would pop up in between. So they've changed some elements of that. But yeah, it was funny because the person was like, well, I heard that it's best to have one person on the ship destroying everything that's on there. And it's like, well, with cursed cannonballs, it really doesn't matter anymore. Just hit them with a ballast ball and just destroy them. You know? It's like, you're done. But yeah, it's a... I think with the Bethesda stuff, Doom Eternal is going to be probably their main one. I think.
Oh yeah.
Because they've already talked about it, and actually Doom Eternal is actually in some of our other news was announced for another platform recently too. So I'll be interested to see if that's 2020 release or late 2019, because we haven't had an announcement for a date yet. I think it was expected this year. I would do Doom this year and Wolfenstein next year if I was them. But because we're not far removed from Wolfenstein, because that was just 2 years ago. But they've got a lot to prove and recover from, so I'd be interested to see how they do on that one.
And talking about recovery, there was an article about from Bioware talking about Bioware being disappointed in Anthem's launch. Like, ooh, that game is definitely one that needs some serious recovery time.
Yes.
A couple things that they said that I really appreciate, though, is we can't emphasize enough how much we appreciate you staying with us. And he's talking about those people that do enjoy the game and continue to play the game and then also enjoy BioWare in general. Mm. They make sure that they actually, and this is one that was going to make Grif happy, that's down near the end of the article, which is they actually state Hudson closes by mentioning Anthem status in a broader context as an online-only experiment, which fans should not assume will be the template for the next Dragon Age game.
Thank God.
Or anything else.
Like, that's the most promising part of the whole article.
Right. So I thought that was good that they're making sure people understand that Anthem is its own thing. BioWare's still BioWare. And I think that if they can repair it and make it more like a BioWare game, I think a lot of people will be happier.
Yeah, I mean, people in the comment section are talking about how, even with Andromeda, Anthem has apparently, and I have not fact-checked this is just something I've seen a bunch, and I will fact-check it at some point, don't worry. But from what I've seen a lot of people are saying that Anthem sold less than Mass Effect Andromeda, like by half, just about, and it's getting worse reviews than Andromeda did. And for that does not bode well for anybody, because they closed a whole studio for Andromeda. So I mean, I get that this is a learning experience, but I feel like if it's a learning experience, that's why we have things like early access now. And I feel like they should have gone that route with it than being like, guys, here's a full finished AAA game, $60 out the door. This bad boy's gonna fit so much content. No, slow down, back it up, and let's put this thing in early access.
First of all, it was half of physical sales.
Ah, okay.
Like our sales did not count towards that.
See, that's why I asked you before we did that if that would count, and you said it would.
It'll count towards sales, but it won't count towards what they're trying to say.
No, yeah.
It's a matter of how things are being worded.
Yes, I was going to say it's all a matter of how you word things.
I got you.
Which this is when Microsoft would come in and go and see, this is why we're wanting to create something that doesn't have a disc anymore, is because this is why this stuff comes in, and it's one is easier to track than the other is, I think, digital wise. And then you've got people like us that we're buying a service, not the game.
Yeah.
And there's more Mass Effect reviews. Like, there are more people that have, or less critics that have reviewed it, so the score is higher, and there's more critics that reviewed it, so the score is lower.
How would there be, like, that is one of my questions, though, on that is, how is it possible that there are now double the amount of critics or whatever to review Anthem as there were, a couple of years ago to do Mass Effect Andromeda?
Because we talked about it. Because it's the Anthem hate wagon. And people jumped on that motherfucking train.
I guess that's true.
Or wagon.
Yeah, but everybody jumped on the Andromeda hate wagon pretty hard, too. But to be fair, there were like 100% of legitimate reasons for that.
Yeah, they jumped on it because they were more disappointed and sad. And Anthem is kind of like, oh my god, look at how bad BioWare is now. Look at this awful game that they've developed.
I think if it would have, one, released in early access, or two, been even incrementally better at launch, it would not have suffered the hate. It's just that everybody needed to see the real A game from BioWare after Mass Effect Andromeda, and we didn't get it.
I got a question. Is there any major company, so like Ubisoft, EA, any of them that have ever released an actual early access game? Like,
I want to say there was.
It's promoted it as early access.
Sony did something.
Sony did that H1Z1.
Well, to be fair, that had already been in early access on PC, right?
Yeah, then it came to early access on...
but they bought the property and then sold the property after that, which is now called H1BR, I think, or Z1BR, something like that.
I mean,
something
I don't...
like
well...
I can't think of any of them that have gone that route yet, but
Xbox
I think...
has its early access
and I think that's part of it, too.
I also think that
their structure's not built on that.
Specifically between Fallout 76 and Anthem, this should be enough to show AAA that early access would have been a better route for those. If you are making something that is an experiment, like your studio has not had a whole lot of experience making an online-only service game, release it in early access. Your people are still going to pay for it. I mean, you'll have a lot of early adopters because usually early access comes at a discount. But you'll have that, like, cushion to fall on to be like, this isn't full launch yet. So we're letting you guys, you know, test it out, test drive it so that we can fix all of these problems before we full launch and everything. And people would be a lot more forgiving towards it. But instead, they just bulldoze straight into full release at AAA prices.
Yes and no about that, because I have seen enough people get hypercritical even during early access games. Like, you underestimate the amount.
It's the same thing
at the same time,
like
you
Anthem, right?
always have that to fall back on. This is early access. I'm sorry that you're upset that it's not 100% polished, but that's what you know why we released it this way instead of releasing it as is and charging you $60 for you to continue yelling.
It's just gonna be a different set of problems. Because people are going to be like, you're a AAA company, why are you releasing unfinished products?
Well,
why
and
are
I think,
you having people
but
test
I think
drive
then
it?
you just have like a whole copy-paste of all of these comments from these things that are like, why don't you release it in early access? And they're like, there you go. This is why we released a AAA game.
It looks like Santa Claus'
access.
list of naughty and nice.
It is.
Yeah. It really feels like you're fucked if you do and you're fucked if you don't. But either way, you're going to lose. It's a lose-lose scenario for companies like that.
I think
it
early
doesn't matter
access would cost less losses.
I think so. I think that you have to. They need to restructure how they're doing some things. And to be fair, look at somebody. You know, let's look at PUBG, who never really fucking worked on their game. Let's look at Ark, who really never worked on their game. Might be where AAA's
worked on it. They just always.
Well, the other parts of their game, they didn't work on the middle part.
Yeah, they just added
they
stuff
worked on adding
over
content.
and over and over again.
I think it's important that maybe that's what AAA is looking at, and their board of directors, which they do have to still appeal to them as well.
I mean, of
at
course,
the end of the day, unfortunately. But you can turn around and go, we're going to have to do this one in early access. We don't have a choice. Look at the chance that Microsoft and Rare took. They created an insider program that allowed people to be able to play an alpha version of a game that was online only, and everybody could be able to play it. Then they did a closed beta release. Then they did a full beta release, and then they did the game. Now, those of us that have played the game through those different aspects of it, totally different game now than what we were playing with then. But the people that said, hey, this is an early access style game when it was initially released, I can't argue with them on that. I really can't, because I understand why they would say that. The content wasn't where they wanted it to be. But you also have to have room to build into your content. And I think but the difference is, alpha and betas, you had people that their ship would just fucking turn over sideways and they would fall off and it would fly out into the air. And
hell, that's still a problem. I've seen people still complain about that shit where their ship just turns up and floats away. It's like,
to be fair, it happened pretty regularly because it happened to me twice. And it doesn't happen anymore, you know? I mean, I've seen some weird shit recently.
Too much helium on the ships.
Not like that. And then
the Chester
build stuff into it.
Yeah.
But I think it's because they increased the size of. They didn't have just that beta that was there, and they did it in a way to where I feel like if people came back negatively, Rare and Microsoft would have come back and said, okay, guys, we're going to have to delay this a little bit. Where the reviews in the beta demo for that in January weren't that great for Anthem. People enjoyed the gameplay and stuff like that, but I mean, we even said it here, which was, hey, we need to... there are parts of this game that we're really leery about, you know.
The story mode. The story mode always kind of reminded me of that episode of Futurama, where they're complaining how short the script was for that TV show that Fry wrote, and he's like, well, it took me 3 hours to write. I thought it'd take 3 hours to read through.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Sea of Thieves and Anthem had similar problems because everybody remembers the main problem with Sea of Thieves when it first came out. There was nothing into it. It was a big-ass puddle that had nothing in it. And Anthem, really good gameplay. Sea of Thieves had really good gameplay because, I mean, that's pretty much why you stuck around at that point was Like, because a lot of people could play it, you were just going from island to island, just searching for treasure chests, and that's it.
But I think the difference is too is you have a PvP element that's in Sea of Thieves built into the game, where you have nothing like that.
Well, and you also have more chance to see other people. It feels more like the world is alive versus you know.
Oh, there's a ship in the distance. You know, should we go this way or should we go attack? You know,
and in Anthem they wanted to go for that co-op solo experience style.
But even then, they didn't do a really great job of explaining the co-op side of it. It's like, oh, you're the hero of our Tarsus. Bam, you're out there with 3 other people that we don't ever mention because who are they?
They're your backup freelancers.
I know. It's just for the way that they set it up, they didn't do a good job of explaining that aspect.
I think the communication between the freelancers should have been more of a point to kind of make
stronger
it feel
together.
like you're part
we're
of a
all
team.
Absolutely silent while we're out there.
Strong alone, stronger together. Yeah, like it should have been.
I don't care.
More about it and the communication. I don't know. I'm not a programmer, but it could not have been that fucking hard to put in a goddamn text chat. A text chat. Just give me a text chat. Let me fucking hit that. And be like, hey guys, wait, I'll be right back.
But
hey guys, there's a
text,
thing over here.
They hired Nintendo's department on communication.
The text chat would mess with the beautiful scenery because
probably that was probably part of it was the UI. And part of it too is that you're flying, so you don't have time to put down your. Because it would have disadvantaged people that are playing it on consoles because they don't have a keyboard attached.
I bet that was why.
What it should have been was a ping system, though, because then you had to have your male voice actor and your female voice actor, so it would be specific to whatever Javelin is doing the pinging, to just be like, ping over here, and then your specific pilot would just have a call out, hey, I see something, or if you pinged on something specific, like a specific enemy, you'd be like, hey, you know, Dominion over here, Scars over there. So there was a little more, and then just like, you could choose to answer back, so you could have a little pop-up thing to have your freelancer say back, yeah, I see that, or
Overwatch not having a ping system. That shit's just ridiculous. I need to ping enemies in Overwatch.
Well,
but
now that we can do it in
does give
Apex,
you voice and text chat though. So to be fair, Overwatch already has ways for you to call them
I have played Apex, and everything else is garbage compared to that ping system. Like, I need to ping enemies.
I just don't understand why it took this long to put ping systems in a game's period. Really.
To be fair, Left 4 Dead had that a long time ago, where you could ping medkits, pills, all of that stuff. But anyway, Anthem, Bioware is listening, and they have a huge, I am talking massive patch coming out this week, Tuesday.
I hope it's got a lot of good stuff.
It has 13 pages of patch notes.
I hope that new content, like the next content set, comes out soon as well, because I'm getting real bored doing the same things over and over again already.
Yeah, well, you're not much of a grinder anyway.
No, but I mean, your grind should at least be enjoyable. It's like, oh, there's an Ursox, let me go shoot it in the face for a minute.
How do you... That seems like an oxymoron. That's so boring. If you don't like grinding, but you need your grinding to be fun...
Well, because it needs to be at least slightly engaging and entertaining. But instead, it's the same trap that the whole game falls into, which is here's all the same stuff.
That's what grinding is.
Grinding doesn't have to be boring, though.
Grinding is boring.
Okay,
you can ask anybody who's
Let's
ever
go
grinded
ahead.
games.
We are at 40-something minutes. We need to move this shit along. Let's go.
No, grinding in World of Warcraft was boring.
All right. Yes. Quick one on here. Last week we were talking about the Back 4 Blood, the company that Turtle, whatever it was, I can't think off the top of my head. Yeah, Turtle Rock, which were part of the creators for Left 4 Dead. Well, we have another announcement for that was one of the writers for Left 4 Dead, Chet Felizik. We'll go with that.
That's a good guess.
Okay, we'll go with that. He co-founds a co-op game studio. Best of luck. I just feel that there's a lot of people that are leaving Valve now and going out and creating a bunch of co-op games.
Portal and Left 4 Dead, so let's hope that we get something really cool, like a mashup.
And Half-Life 2.
Yeah, okay, so still a mashup of all of it. Let's just get everything, shove it in there. Puzzles.
So good games maker, going out on his own, making his own company. Awesome sauce.
Yes. What else?
Really quick one. No one here, I don't think, cares about this, but it is very interesting because I think it needed to be done from them, even because of the rest of the market. Activision is actually bringing Call of Duty Mobile to the Western world.
Shooters on mobile baffle me. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, and so there are, which it's if you watch the video, it reminds me of the 360 version of that last Call of Duty game that they did that's exactly what it looks like to me. But for those people that do play Fortnite and PUBG and want another game on
All
their
three of
phone,
you.
there you go, you have it. We are not interested in that in any way whatsoever.
Don't care. Yeah.
Nope.
No, we don't care.
Speaking of phone stuff, apparently Apple is going to, for some reason, throw their money bags into the game subscription service.
Right.
Which I gotta say, out of all of the companies that I think
Apple has games,
but it's on the phone.
yeah,
Don't
it's
you
like
people have
weird.
phones?
not
but
an Apple
it's-
phone.
Sorry.
But I don't understand. I don't think there's enough. Like if I'm playing a mobile phone game, the game's either just long, like it's continual, right? Like Hearthstone, things like that, which is free. But like even if I'm paying for a game, I don't think there's enough paid games on mobile phones. At least we don't
Warrant
think
a
about that to
premium
have a
service?
service to go along with it.
I mean, okay, first of all,
I'd
there
be
are three
interested to see where this
suggestions
is going.
are Minecraft, which, I mean, you could play just about anywhere, Plague Inc., which is just about play anywhere, and Football Manager, which is, I have no idea.
It is a coaching simulator for soccer. That's the easiest way I can tell it to you, because it's like FIFA where you're actually physically playing as the players. This you're working as the manager and all the stuff that goes in the back. The amount of people that play this boring ass game, to be honest, it's boring. I have tried it. I own like the 2015 version of this game. I don't understand it. But all right, cool. But a lot of people love it. I've got friends that are coaches that absolutely love playing it, and they can tell you the name of every
Yeah, but I mean,
frickin'
if
player
you're
in the
gonna,
world.
how are you gonna justify a premium service for that one thing that you could just pay for one time?
You
and be done?
can't, but I mean that's the
Yeah.
thing is like I don't understand. Like I can those 3 games right there. Even then, I'm turning around and going, I'm not paying a premium unless it's $1.99 a month.
I guess we're the wrong
Maybe.
market for it, because even with us, like,
Yeah.
we all have games that we play on our phones, but for the 4 of us specifically, I know that those games are usually not paid games, and if they are, it's a one-time purchase for not that much, and we're done with it. Like, we're done paying for it. But I mean, like, everything that I have on my phone is free to play.
I play Pokemon Go, and I play a little flow game where you gotta connect the dots.
My main phone games are Superstar BTS, which is basically a rhythm game with BTS songs. So it's just
Guitar
like Guitar
Hero.
Hero for your phone, essentially, and it's free. I play a Mahjong game because apparently I'm an old lady and I love it. It's free. and I have a bunch of language learning apps that are game oriented. They're all free. But I mean,
So yeah, we don't game on our phones. Maybe it's because we're from a different generation.
we're old people.
I know that's starting to seem bad now, but
Fallout Shelter and Pokemon Go.
I played Fallout Shelter for a long time until I maxed out my vault, and I was like, oh, okay, but I'm done building. And the building is the part that gets to me, so I was done with it. after that.
I'm done building too. I just send them out on Quest. Like I check it maybe once a week, and that's about it.
Yeah.
yeah, we're from a different generation. Like,
We're old people.
We've lived in we are old. We've lived in a world where we didn't have phones like this, where we could just play games and whatnot.
People have phones.
We are definitely older gamers. We are not as modernized as some of the markets that are being created. So good job,
True.
guys. You're all old now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you
Get
that.
off my console.
I'll just sit over here and play with my Nintendo and.
Yeah, definitely show your age there. My Nintendo. Wait, that's a PlayStation. Whatever, it's all the same, right?
Shut up, Mom.
Get off that there, Nintendo.
Which, by the way,
I modified it. You young whippersnapper. Now it plays everything.
this is something that Chicken had
called a
mentioned.
PC.
He saw a rumor about this morning, or I can't remember if you said it was rumor or fact, but you didn't put it in the news, so I guess it was not fact. But that the Diablo game, Diablo Immortal, the one Don't You People Have Phones spawn, it's coming
that
to
was a
PC.
rumor.
It's rumored to be coming to
That's
PC.
a rumor.
I just
Quote.
Thought
I
that
saw
was
somebody say
funny.
something about what Blizzard is going to announce at PAX East, I think it is. What's coming up this
And
Friday?
that was the speculation.
So
That
Blizzard
would
is
be
going to
so
PAX East
funny.
this week.
I think so. Is it
That's
PAX East
interesting.
this week?
Yeah, it'll come out.
I think they're
in
I think they're gonna have
this
a
week.
booth. They're gonna have a booth out there, so
Don't you
we'll have
people
to
have
see.
phones? No, we have
Interesting.
PCs. Oh, okay.
Now, this is all speculation. Do not take any of this. You best buy yourself a big old bag of salt.
I really want it to be true, though, because I just want to see the fallout afterwards.
You know what I want? I want a crowd, like as big as BlizzCon, sitting there when they announce it coming for PC, and then all the shit-eating grins across the whole thing just...
Don't people have phones? No, we have PCs! Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to derail. I just remember you saying that this morning, and I thought it was hilarious. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, you said something about PAX. One of the things that that we have an article for is that Borderlands, the original one, has shown up with an ESRB listing for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, which probably means that's one of the announcements they're making this coming week.
Yeah, they've been teasing us with different stuff, so I'm very interested to see what the announcements are that come out on that.
Please let one of them be Bulletstorm too.
Also, something very interesting about that, speaking of games that haven't been on a particular format before, the David Cage series, Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls are headed to the PC. So,
but
here
it is.
They have a year exclusivity on the Epic Games Store. At minimum, those ones haven't said whether or not it will be full
but to be fair,
or just the year. But
to be fair, Heavy Rain's had like a 15-year exclusivity with Sony.
But that's fair though. That was something that Sony had as a not first party, but a third-party exclusive on their console, and now it's coming to PC and it's coming to the worst game store imaginable, which is just. This is Epic's way of combating the Master Chief Collection announcement coming to Steam. They're trying to buy their way onto everybody's PC by having exclusive products like this that people want for PC or that want because they don't have a console. And I think that that's the worst way to promote your platform because you're trying to buy. I went on a rant on Twitter
for the record,
yeah, he did,
which I normally don't do.
But you're trying to buy people's patronage. And that's not good competition. That's not how you create a healthy competitive playground in which everybody wins. That's only benefiting that one store, and I think it's garbage.
Yeah, Outer Worlds I think is going to be on the Microsoft Store and Epic Games. I will buy it on the store.
Oh yeah, Outer Worlds.
If you compare apples and apples to anything, at the end of the day, people want customer service.
Yes.
Now, I know that I can go to one grocery store that's near my house, and it costs more than it does if I go to the grocery store next to it. But I go in there because of the customer service and also it's easier to find shit in there. But that'd be a UI. That would be right. UI something that's on there with that, which will lead into the next story. But honestly, that's what's frustrating and irritating to me is the fact that it's like base it on a format that people will enjoy going to. Yes. And reasons to do it, not because of anything else.
Don't make it so that the whole scandal with the data mining and everything, where they're only fixing it because they got caught at it. So it's not something that was even on their radar to fix to start with. It was only that it became a big thing, and now you're buying exclusive content. That does not make you any friends in the PC community. That is not going to make us want to shop with you because, honestly, I would love to play Detroit on PC because just. Convenience. Everything else is on my PC. I'd rather not have to hook up the PlayStation to the TV and everything. Just convenience. Not gonna buy it. Don't care. And one of the things that hurts me about that is I'm part of a couple of I went to the subreddit to look at it, the Detroit Become Human subreddit, and then I'm part of Brian Detroit, which is the voice actor for Connor, has a Discord server that I'm part of. And there were a lot of people that are like, I don't understand the whole Steam versus Epic Games Store thing. What's the deal? I'm usually a console player. Can you explain it? And there were so many people that were like, it's not a big deal. You guys are just mad because new and Steam is just everybody's favorite place and you're just mad. It's like, no, there are legitimate reasons to not like it. But with the amount of people going, you're just mad, it really minimalizes the problem. And then is going to maximize the impact of that problem because you got a lot of people who aren't into, they don't watch shows like ours, or they don't pay as close attention to the news, and they just listen to that one guy on the subreddit or that one guy in the Discord that said it's not a big deal, and then all of a sudden their shit's data mined and all their shit's hacked. I'm not saying Epic hacks everything. I'm just saying it opens you up for more possibilities.
And that is why I say, in this day and age, you have to educate other people because they're going to hear one thing and you have to tell them the other side and then they can make an informed decision. If they are confused, then they can look it up and figure out how they want to decide what to do.
Don't do it in a trolley banner either.
No, I mean, you have to present your point well thought out. You can't just be like, well, it's stupid, you idiot, because, like, don't take that tone.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
especially if you are coherent about your argument, be like, hey, look, the Epic Store is, like, bad, in my opinion, because they try to buy exclusive rights from Steam. Like, they've done it. They've poached games
that's one
specifically to try to boost their own numbers.
The other announcement from that this week was that Outer Worlds, which you had mentioned, Chicken, was originally on Steam, already had a Steam page, and it's now going to be 12 month. This is where our rant came in. Yeah, 12-month exclusive.
Poached it straight out from underneath, which I don't understand.
But it's because they have a bunch of money, and they're throwing money at developers, especially with things like Outer World and the Metro devs, who aren't, super huge AAA producers that have a whole bunch behind them already. And they're like, hey, look at this early paycheck for just putting our stuff over here. And we're going to get a bigger cut because they give us more money on the back end than Steam does. And it's like, part of why Steam keeps some of that money is because their stuff is way better.
Yeah, the infrastructure is crazy strong, like crazy big.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that Steam is not a saint. Let's not all pretend that Steam has done everything right forever. That's not the case.
Oh, hell no.
But at the same time,
every
we've had
thing
less...
has ups and downs.
Yes. I feel like we have less controversy with Steam, and I know that that's saying something because Steam has had quite a few controversies. There was, the credit card scandal a couple of years ago, and the refund policy that they had to rework, all of that stuff. I'm not saying
green light,
that Steam
the certain
is perfect.
games getting on there.
Yeah, Steam is obviously not perfect, and obviously I have my problems with them just as much as anybody else does, but I'd rather go with the lesser of two evils in that case. Steam's not trying to force your hand. They're a true storefront, and sometimes that doesn't work in their favor, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's a competition for everybody. It's open for everybody.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's almost like
Epic's
Nintendo style, where they're just like, hey, you want to play games? Bring games over here and play? Cool, whatever, it's all good. You can bring whatever games you want and play. And
the thing is Epic's falling into something that the consoles had to learn the hard way, especially Microsoft. The Tomb Raider exclusivity for Microsoft is where they really went, okay, this is not working in our favor to buy this and keep it from everybody else for a year. Like, a month or two, okay, fine. 3 months even. I'll give you 3 months of exclusivity, and then it goes to everybody else. Okay, people are probably still going to support you because you don't look like a jackass doing it that way. Like a jackass by hoarding
They've
properties.
even bought companies that are on all the other formats. Like, Microsoft is like, oh, we're going to buy Minecraft. Sony, just so you know, we're buying Minecraft, but we're giving you the same exact support we do with everything else. Do you want to cross-forum play? No, I'm not playing with you guys. But it's like...
like they sound like... Sony sounds like Muppets.
Just give us the game and shut up.
I was just like, all right, come on, man, whatever. It's just, one thing after another. Speaking of Steam, though, our format for Steam, it looks like they're going to be changing it up. They did announce it at GDC this week. It looks kind of like... It reminds me of Netflix.
That's what I was going to say. It's kind of a Netflix-esque overhaul for your library. It's specifically for your library portion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty. I think it's really
that's
pretty.
Your library home, whatnot, which does look pretty good.
I like the recent games one, so you can go right into a game that you've been playing instead of having to find it, click it, everything else, boop, done. I like the... They show you if some of your games have a new update really quickly. And then your library is underneath it, and you can go through it the way you normally do.
I do like the
specific
library pages, which is nice too. It shows you who's playing, the community hub. Everything just kind of looks a little bit more sleeker, better made. It's about time.
Chat's over on the right side. It gives you a little bit of an idea of who's online. That's really
I think it's
DLC
pretty.
achievements, cards, your activity for whoever's playing.
Steam using that money to fix up their infrastructure a bit. Oh, and showing you all of those social features and making things easier to find. And I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay, so somewhat amusingly, the Steam Library redesign announcement came on the same day as an Epic's GDC keynote, which the company unveiled its own redesign for the store and nothing else. Yeah, where's my profile? Where's my library? Where's all that stuff?
Yeah.
You're just going to keep redesigning your store until you can sell more?
We'll redesign the things we sell, not the things you own. Come on, now there's a difference.
Exactly, yeah, that's right, my bad.
Well, to be fair, they don't really need libraries. They have like 5 games, so, it's not going to be...
They've got several dozen games that they've bought and poached off of other people.
Well, I'm sorry, 5 that people want to play.
All I'm saying is that Epic should not try to take down Steam. You're not going to take them down. It doesn't matter how many games you poach, they will always be there.
Not without creating a better format. You can do it.
Then they'll still be there.
But you're going to have to create a better format and a reason for people to go over. The poaching's not going to help you.
At this point, even if they make a better format and make games cheaper, I'm still not going because of how shady and shitty they've seemed so far.
Well, I'm saying from day one. If it started day one, been creating a better product,
definitely,
and been less shady, it'd been fine. Other Steam news that's on there, something Sekiro came out this week. Shadows Die Twice. That game came out this week, which is hard as shit. A lot of people playing and everything else. It's already Steam's 4th most played game.
I'm not even a little surprised.
By the way, the game is super fucking good.
I was watching some people play it. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I
think that's honestly,
good.
I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. I think part of the reason that it's doing so well is because it is the trendy new Dark Souls-esque game, and it means that everybody's going to be streaming it and YouTubing it. So I think that some of those numbers are artificially inflated by players who wouldn't normally play that style of game but want the numbers as far as viewers go. But again, the game's really pretty. Different. If you're into it, it looks amazing.
It's a different... Okay, everybody is comparing it to Dark Souls. It's more Bloodborne and Tenchu style than Dark Souls.
Well, yeah, okay,
that's so much
I'll
more
give
forgiving.
you that, but when you say Dark Souls, people know what you mean. You're expecting a really hard, very tactical...
Not a whole lot of people know of Tenchu.
Yeah, Tenchu and Bloodborne are going to be a little bit lesser. People know Bloodborne, but Dark Souls was first. So it's basically like Souls-like, roguelite, things like that. It's just a name now. It's the same thing as Google it. It's like Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm. I want to play it and try to take the Tenchu approach through most of it.
Well,
the big announcement this week that happened is Google at GDC announced everybody, it was been rumored that they were going to have a console, they were going to have something out there, that they were getting into the gaming world. Well, they announced their gaming system, and it's called Stadia. And basically, it's a streaming service. Think of PlayStation Now, if you will, but on a whole different scale.
The Nintendo Switch in Japan, where you could download, you could play Resident Evil 7 on the cloud.
Yeah, but we don't play that if we're in the Western world, so I can't
Come on,
really
don't you keep up with the news?
I do keep up with the news.
We've talked about it already.
Yeah, but you want to relate it to something that we actually have access to.
You got to relate to something that you know.
For most of our audience.
Like Dark Souls, because
educate yourselves, people. Educate yourselves, people.
It's not that they're not educated. Shut up. Doesn't matter. Don't listen to him. Keep going.
Right. So basically, I watched the entire thing that was on it, and they have been working on this for a while. They figured out a way to improve the streaming service. You're still going to have a really good streaming service. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's
to be able to make this work.
What's your internet like?
But it can stream games up to 4K with 10 frames per second. So you get 60 frames per second.
10 frames per second looks like a potato.
It's going to be a
with
potato.
4K with 60 frames per second. They're thinking that they're going to be able to future support 8K.
I mean,
now imagine your streaming service doing that one.
First of all, I need better internet.
I was gonna say, slow your roll. Here's the problem: everybody's ISP sucks balls.
Yeah,
give me Google Fiber everywhere.
Well, and I think that's the thing, though, is it's a Google announcement, and Google's going, "We run it just fine. What's the problem?" Well, you have access to Google Fiber, which is not in my area at all, and I'm not gonna move to an already populated area so that I can buy your Google Fiber service so that I can stream games.
Well, they think that what's going to end up happening, because they showed a map of where all their actual Google Fiber stuff are across the world. Mm-hmm. And I was actually, some of the areas surprised. I'm like, I can't get it in my area, but they've got it. All right.
Like in the middle of Wisconsin or something. You're like, what?
No, I'm talking like other parts of the world. I'm like, that's strange to me. But so I'm like, all right, cool. But they've with this particular one, it's supposed to be up to 10.7 GPU teraflops. Now, to compare to what our current console systems are, the PS4 Pro is 4.2, and the Xbox One X is 6. So, and it's supposed to be seamless. You're watching a guy play a game. The word play pops up on the screen. You hit the word play, and it immediately pops you into the game.
I really, really, really feel like a lot of people's ISPs are not going to allow them to run things smoothly enough to play. And I know that part
Definitely
of it too,
not.
like they said that part of the latency issue is taken care of by the fact that you buy their controller, which hooks direct, like basically interfaces directly with their cloud service. So what you're seeing and what your controller is saying should be pretty cohesive mesh. And if you use any other software, that may not be the case. But I really, really, really think that it's going to be heavily dependent on your internet provider.
It's going to be on that, because for some people it's going to be hit play and then the little circle.
The buffering thing. Yep.
And then gonna have to try. Well,
I think one of the other downsides too is one of the things that would affect me and my choice to do it is there's no offline play because you're playing it through their internet service and the cloud. So if your internet is ever offline for any reason, you just are out of luck.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's kind of a downside on it too.
both
I think
the Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's why I like things like Steam or Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, because as long as it's on my hard drive, I've got it.
As long as it's not
and that's also the reason we liked hard copies of games too.
And data caps will also be a big deal. You have a data cap and you're trying to stream a game.
Huge.
Ooh.
Massive problem. You know, if you're a streamer, you're trying to do this. It's like the cool thing about this I'm looking at it from a streaming standpoint. If you had the Google Fiber, okay,
that would be amazing.
You're now essentially your normal gaming PC now becomes a streaming PC, and so because you're not processing any of that stuff, it's being processed somewhere else and being sent
that
to
would
you.
be nice.
That would be nice.
So that's going to be fantastic.
If you
have the fast enough internet.
If you have a Google Fiber unlimited plan, yes. If you have anything else, good luck.
Of course, I know at least 2 streamers that have 2 different ISPs at their house. One they use one for a backup for the other one. In this case, you'd have to use one to stream the game and the other one to send it back out.
No shit.
Oh man, it's gonna be interesting to watch this one develop. So
yeah, I think. I don't know. They've not announced anything else on it.
Yeah, they just said this is the thing, not anything beyond
the
that.
Thing.
This is the thing.
They have been able to run Doom Eternal on it at 4K, which is that goes back to what I said earlier. There's news on the part of that. So they showed portions of that. It looks good, but I mean, we're watching a video. Like, how do we know that that's just not shot from a damn PC somewhere?
Well.
You know, it's just, I'll be very interested to see it. Of course, Assassin's Creed, the latest Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think.
Right.
Just is that's what they used to show it originally. And it was kind of a cool concept. It was one of those things where the guy starts off on a PC, hits the play button, pops it up, plays a little bit of the game, moves to another device, pops it up. It starts exactly where he ended at. Goes to the next device, did the same thing, went through like 4 or 5 devices. So it's awesome.
If it works.
In that respect, if it works.
Yep. If it works and you have the network support to be able to do that, yes.
Also, if you have like a controller attached to your phone, because that was one of the things that they were playing, and I'm like, who does that?
Nobody.
Who is a big enough mobile gamer that they do this?
Whatever.
Him.
Yeah. Alright, what else we got? I got some Resident Evil to record, that's why I'm pushing us along. That, and we're at an hour and 15 minutes. Thanks for sticking around. If you've been listening this whole time, that means you, Ollie, and probably like 3 other people. Thanks, guys.
No Pants, Alyssa, there's a few of them.
I said a few other people.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, what else we got?
I think it was it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I'm going to go get chased by Mr. X some more.
We appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slanum.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure that you go to Grif's YouTube channel. Make sure that you hit the little subscribe button at the bottom.
Yes, please.
Make sure you're hitting ours too if this is the first time you've been here.
Yeah. And you're still here.
And of course the little bell. Hit the bell, that way you know when we've sent something out. It's fantastic. And she's currently, like she said, playing through Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
And then, in her spare time working on other stuff. So
yeah, like
we'll
a million things.
A million things. She never stops working. That's her. She's got a working problem. Just saying. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313, where Sunday night through Thursday night he is live. What are you playing this week, Chicken? What's your goals?
Anthem, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
I play everything by ear. That's how I live life.
You hit the sub
Only
button
one.
and join the Discord, and you'll get notifications
only one.
every time.
Yes.
Just don't be
Also,
like
make
some
sure
of
you
our
go-
other friends that ignore the notifications and go, I didn't know you were streaming.
Which
There
is
you
most
go.
of my friends, as they call themselves.
Posted.
Anyway.
It always posts.
Go to mixer.com/MDBOtree, where I stream just about every day of the week. Currently doing Metro Exodus and some Sea of Thieves, and then I'm probably moving on to another game with a plot line after I finish Exodus, but I haven't figured out which one yet, so we'll see. I want a campaign of some sort, a good plot line. We'll see. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baga.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.